Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail, and it's Yeehaw! It's Tuesday. I get to try something new with you. This is what I'm trying today. I did one yesterday just to try it out. It's not my. I think I'll like experimenting with this more. I just sort of threw everything on here. This is faux handmade paper, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. I got the idea. I've actually seen at least 4 or 5 of these on YouTube. But I had saved one from Treasure Books from 4 years ago, I think. And a lot of people gave her credit if they did it. Not all of them, but many of them did. So that's who I will link to, is Treasure Books under the description if you want to see hers, her video. So this is done with regular paper. You can do it on cardstock. She even showed, like, doing it on cardstock, you could have a cover for a journal because it stiffens up. But you could use it as a journal page. And I like using mulberry paper, and that's what this reminds me of, mulberry paper, which is a handmade paper that has pieces of vegetation, you know, like herbs and, you know, pieces of plants and things like that, and threads and that type of thing. I just think I overdid it a little bit on this one, but it's not bad. I kind of like it. So let's get going. Let's try it. Actually, I'm going to try it on a piece of parchment paper. This is a green Southworth paper. It's a little bit heavier than copy paper. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a little bit heavier. It might be 130 or something like that. So this is how you start. You get yourself mixed up your glue and water. I guess you can use Mod Podge too, but this is like 2 parts glue to 1 part water that I used in a recent video. And I'm going to use my Mod Podge brush, and I'm going to put this glue on the entire piece of paper. It's curling up a little bit because it's only on one side. Goes down later. I am so glad you're here with me today. I've been cleaning. I do all my own cleaning, and it takes me a couple days to get through the whole house. And luckily I don't have to do it that often because my house doesn't get that messy with only 2 people living here. Okay, at least I keep telling myself that. This is now covered with glue, and now is when you're going to put vegetation on it. Now I am, this is a tea bag that I opened up, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on it. Okay, now because this is green, I'm thinking it might go in a journal with like a floral journal. So this is oregano. I have some tarragon here that's not, it's not, it's pieces. And I'm going to put that on. maybe a little bit of parsley. Now you could leave it just like this, and it would look like a piece of mulberry paper. I'm going to throw a couple of these on. This is a pod from a desert rose. And these are the seeds. I especially like when they're still attached together like this. My husband grows these desert roses in pots out on our patio, and they're just gorgeous flowers. So I'm going to put a few of those on. Aren't they fun? Now, these are a little thick, some of them. The smaller ones are thinner. But I think it will work. So I'm just kind of pushing them down onto my paper. Okay, I think that's going to be enough. All right. Now, once you've got your things on it that you want on it, your next step is to take a layer of napkin. This is pulled off of a decorative napkin, like, you know, something like this, and you pull apart the layers when you're going to use the napkins for things, and you keep all of the white parts that are left over. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm just going to kind of push it down a little bit because there's still that glue on there. And I want to make sure that I get that stuck on there, because then I'm going to put glue on top of it. And you want to be careful how far you overdo it, you know, or I don't want to rip it. But if you do, you just rip a little piece of this off and you put it on top. And in fact, I might even do that intentionally on the top of, like, some of these that are really thick. So, I'm so happy to be done with cleaning. I get to play. My husband went out for breakfast, so I shut the door because he's going to come home and say, I'm home, like he usually does. Oops, sorry about that. He always does that. Then he'll see that I have my door shut, and he'll realize I'm videotaping. And I kind of missed a little bit in this corner and that. I try to make sure I get all of the corners. Then you also have to make sure you get the air bubbles out. Now there's some wrinkles in here, but there's also air bubbles. I got a little hole right there. I'm going to put a piece of this over it. I want this to be adhered down. Some of these are really good already, but because they're a little higher, you gotta be careful. And I am gonna put something over a couple of these. I want to make sure that I get all of the air bubbles out, so I'm kind of tapping it right now. I don't mind the wrinkles. That just makes it look like more like real paper. Okay, I am going to rip a little bit of this side off here. Okay, and I'm going to put some of that over. Okay, I can see this one is coming through. I think this one might be coming through right here. And I'm going to put a little extra on top of there. Now when this dries, and it will, I'm going to leave it, you know, like for hours. But when this dries, that green color on the paper is going to show up a little bit more. Make sure you get all the way to the edges, all the way around. Now, what I have this on is parchment paper or baking paper, what you'd use to bake on in your oven. And this will peel right off of here later. Uh-oh. I got a little bit carried away there on the edge. And ripped it off. But no problem. Okay. I think I'm done with this one. Now I'm going to leave it right on this paper until it dries. I see a little bit of air in here. Trying to push the air out without, and make sure that this is held down without ripping it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it right on here, and I'm going to move it aside to dry. I just think that's going to be so cute. I love it. It's so much fun. You could really have fun playing with this. So this one I made a little bit bigger than I needed to. This is a piece of parchment paper. This is what it is. Culinary parchment. And it's for baking. Okay, I'm going to do one more. I have some of this paper that when I was spattering on some things. I had a bunch of paint left over, so I just put it on some coffee dyed paper, and it's on both sides. But I think I'm going to do this one. So I'll have that black on there as well as the coffee dyed. And I think I'm going to keep this one. I'm not going to put as much green on it. I'm going to keep it black and brown. So I might put some thread on this one. So a lot of the thread I use for my journals, because they're, when I make grungy journals, and I don't make only grungy journals, but when I make grungy journals, I will do a lot of my sewing with a variegated quilting thread, and I save my ends. Now, I think one of my things I did wrong, or I should have done differently, excuse me, is made the thread smaller. So I'm going to cut these smaller. I think that's going to be better. And this thread is not just black, it has red and kind of a tannish color. Though most of it looks black here. It's not if you see it in person. I'll see if I can pull out one that has more. This one has like tan on this edge. So I saved these threads because I like the way they look in things, and I use them when when you're sewing and you want to put like a blob of stuff in it. I'm trying to get out one that has red on it. Here we go. This has red and tan. I'm cutting it up. Now I want to make sure I get some things near the edges. Don't want to forget the corners. Another thing you can do, this one's long. Another thing that you can do is use something like eyelash trim. Let's see if I can find, here's some black eyelash trim. And this is kind of cool because it goes thick on the end. So I'm going to put a few of them in. I have some eyelash trim that's red and black. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. Here it is. I've already cut some off for the other one. But this will add a little bit of red. Got a lot more of this in my drawer, but I don't have a lot of it out. So I'm trying to get as much on here as I can. Now I really didn't put any vegetation on this one at all, just threads. So you can put on whatever you want to put on. And I just heard my husband say, I'm home. Hopefully he'll figure this out that I'm videotaping. Now he's... Okay, now I just have to cover this up. And get the air bubbles out. Let it wrinkle up. Not a problem. And you can get these things trapped in between the layers and have something that looks like handmade paper. I'm so excited to try this. I saved these things, and that's what Try Something New Tuesday is. I look back to all of the different things that I have saved. Oh, that looks good. I think I want to try that someday, you know. And I save the videos in different playlists on my YouTube channel. And I actually watch on one that's just under my name, Carol Valenta, which is different than Friendly Quail. I have two channels. I don't post on the other one. All of my posts are on this channel, but I watch under the other one. That way I can keep it separate. But anyway, I have this whole watch later thing. And I'm having fun trying things. Like this are treasure books. This was from 4 years ago. Now I do need to, there's a little bit of a bubble in here, so I'm kind of tapping it. And I think this is about, my husband just went out on the patio and made faces at me. Yeah, because he knows I'm taping now. He figured it out. He looks so funny. We've been married for 52 years. Yeah, 52 years. Okay, so that's it. And now we're just going to let it dry. And I'm going to have more fun. I'm going to play and make some more. And I'll show it on another video at some point when they're dry. When they're dry, you just peel this off and it will come loose. But I don't want to do it till it's dry. And then you just kind of can trim off the excess around the edges. So that you just, I just cut the extra stuff off here. You can do it with your trimmer. It works really, better than, did that one with the scissors. I would do it with a trimmer. So that is my Try Something New Tuesday for today. And I hope you'll enjoy it and try it. I'm really having fun. Okay. This is Carol from Friendly Quail. Try something new. Bye. And don't forget, always do something you love to do every day.